Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and Game 2 in a best of 3 series between mousesports' Morrow and NightEnd. Game 2 taking place here in the Xel'Naga Caverns, Morrow spawning as the blue Zerg this time, meanwhile NightEnd spawning as the red Protoss. Now Morrow took Game 1 pretty convincingly. He pretty much stuck to his standard style of play, macroing up a lot during the early portion of the game, and then trying to use that advantage later on, also really opening my eyes towards Zerglings and Baneling drops. A lot of players have been wondering why Zerg players don't use Nidus networks nearly as much. Well, since you have so many overlords already part of your arsenal and already part of the Zerg Swarm, might as well just get the Ventral Sacs, get the Pneumatized Carapaces. Both upgrades are very good, and once it's a research, you can never lose it. Unlike, say, losing a Nidus Worm or a Nidus Network, you're going to be forced to rebuild it. You will never be forced to re-research an Overlord if it dies. And really, Zergling drops have just become very, very powerful as of late. You can now see NightEnd making its way in with this probe, and it is going to wander around and try to delay what I would expect to be a fast hatch in just a moment. So there in comes that probe. The probe wandering around. The spawning pool has been laid down, so Morrow opting to not go for a fast hatch this time, knowing that NightEnd was really effective in delaying his hatchery. The probe now going to wander down over here and just be in patrol in between those two locations. Yeah, just going to patrol back there as the drones now making their way down as well. So two drones now trying to put some pressure onto this one probe, able to get some damage. There is now one pylon as well as the drones now try to make it back up that ramp, getting even more damage. And oh, a very nice mineral path happening and just walking straight through there. And now NightEnd even further able to delay this hatchery. We still do not see an extractor in play at all. Morrow should be able to easily get a queen and a couple Zerglings out. And as soon as that is out, he will be able to really macro up rather easily, as this one drone battling it against this probe over here. The probe just down to 10 shields, but it looks like it may be able to just delay that hatchery even further, as the drone just trying to get some more damage onto that probe and just playing ring around the hatch. Oh, the hatchery finally being placed down by Morrow, as Morrow was able to place it down as the probe of NightEnd moved a little bit too far away. We are going into a Forge fast expansion by NightEnd, but I really hope that NightEnd doesn't slow down his probe production this time around. The last game on Metalopolis, he actually slowed down his probe production, so NightEnd or Morrow was really able to catch up and power drone his way back into the game around the 4-minute 30-second mark. So even though he did delay the hatchery, he didn't get the strong economic lead that he really wanted to have. A Zealot now making its way down over here, as we are now stopping probe production. We do not have any additional pylons, and NightEnd supply locking himself at 26/26, getting also a photon cannon on the low ground. Morrow pretty confident with himself right now. Gonna start that metabolic boost, no longer mining any gas, as he's just going to continue to power drone. And I believe this game is going to go even better for Morrow. And NightEnd didn't have a real answer for Morrow in the last game, and now that Morrow seems more on top of his game than the previous, especially when you consider that NightEnd was supply locked for a little bit of time, just finally getting that pylon. And now if he gets to continue to train probes, he's going to fall even further and further behind. 23 probes versus 21 drones, a third hatchery already being placed down. So Morrow doing a very quick third base here in the Xel'Naga Caverns, not even bothering to use Zerglings to try to take down those rocks yet, as that would kind of tip his hand at the fact that he has another hatchery over here. So this hatchery could be used as a macro hatch, or it could just be used as train up drones and only have them mine there, not actually transfer any drones, as you don't want to tip your hand. Double Xel'Naga watchtowers in the center portion by NightEnd this time around, but the Zerglings are going to make their way out. 10 Zerglings quickly controlling the one Xel'Naga watchtower. Another swarm of Zerglings going to control the second one, as he is going to have just a significant economic advantage and also map control. Power droning his way, sitting on 7 drones right now, and compared to 20, and now 28 versus 35. So those drones have just hatched, and things are just going to continue to go well and well for Morrow. Morrow does need another queen, though. He is now training up 2 additional queens, 1 at each hatchery. His income should be very strong. Yeah, his income almost double that of his opponent, even though his gas is slightly behind. The fact that he's able to mine so much only goes to show you that probes being transferred from one base to another don't mine. So yeah, I got all excited for nothing, nephew. I looked at the harvester count. So 1,000 versus 1,400, a slight gas difference as a queen now being trained up at this low ground hatch. We'll see what will be happening here as Morrow should be either using some creep tumors or laying down or trying to do some spawn larva, one or the other, sometime soon, as this set of destructible rocks will fall in just a moment. Production, we see 10 Zerglings, and Morrow actually slipping a little bit on his macro for just a second there. A lot of energy on those queens. You can see this one hatchery doesn't have it doesn't have a spawn larva, and a lot of energy there as 7 more drones are still being queued up once more. So that means that he can train up about 30 drones every minute. We are not yet teching the tier 2. I expect Morrow to tech to tier 2 in just a moment as well. Carapace upgrades and Claw upgrades. Twilight Council now coming in by NightEnd, and now in comes a Suicided Overlord. So NightEnd having a lot of energy on his Nexus. He is not going for Colossi. He's going for level 1 weapons upgrade. No robotics facilities, so this might be perhaps a 5-gate push. So 2 base 5-gate push does work out well. It gives you a large army, and rather quickly you're able to deploy straight into the field. But taking a look at just the sheer army combinations, as soon as NightEnd reveals himself to Morrow, Morrow should all of a sudden, yeah, train up a lot of Zerglings. And now with 30 Zerglings in production, those Zerglings are going to be able to easily handle the Stalkers, and perhaps even some of those Zealots. The Zerglings have a little bit of running to do in between these 2 bases. No creep tumors. Spine crawlers now being set up as there is a proxy pylon set up over here. One poor Zergling or probe now taken down, as the Zerglings are going to be able to cancel this pylon. And if it's able to cancel the pylon, the reinforcements will not be coming in anytime soon. And NightEnd going to have to delay his attack just a little longer. Zerglings perhaps trying to activate this, though. Naga Watchtower gonna get taken down. The Zerg Swarm is a smaller army but much more mobile at this stage, as we are now getting some more Spine Crawlers. 2 Spine Crawlers about to finish morphing in, and also getting some Banelings. Tech to tier 2 has been completed. Centrifugal Hooks also being started, in addition to adding off an Infestor as well. I don't see Ventral Sacs or a Pneumatized Carapace anywhere. So that should also be coming in, as Baneling bombing runs were, or Baneling carpet bombing, so effective on top of the army. Stalkers are now once again on the move. Level 1 weapons upgrade has been completed. Level 2 about 2/3 of the way, as the Stalkers are now trying to walk down here. Zergling's now trying to do a decent surround, unable to do so, as the Stalkers are just constantly blinking. The Banelings are unable to find their target. Banelings are just splashing and now taking down a lot of those Zealots, as the Banelings, perhaps they should have tried to take down the pylon. If they actually took down the pylon, that would have been a lot of damage dealt. You can see this one pylon down to 100 hit points. Is it going to actually take it down? No, not taking it down. 1 or 2 Banelings could have taken down that pylon there. As the Stalkers are continuing to battle it out, the Stalkers being very careful to just try to fight up against the wall so that they can't get surrounded. The Stalkers are just constantly on the move, but NightEnd in a bit of trouble there, losing his attack force once more, as Morrow is just sitting on such a superior economy. And now we see the Pathogen Glands, Zerg Carapace, and ground weapons upgrade, as well as the Stalkers are once again in full retreat. No Colossus to deal that splash damage and finish off those Zerglings, as the Stalkers are now trying to fight back. And I really think that Morrow could take this game now, but he is not attacking at this moment. He has almost double the food and doesn't know how far behind his opponent is. He does have a decent economy, 57 drones, training up 11 more. So 11 more drones now being trained. And with that new round of drones being hatched, I think the economic advantage for Morrow is just going to be too strong. And at this point, NightEnd really needs to figure out a different strategy. One of the reasons why sentries are so popular for the Protoss army is that they're so versatile, and I haven't seen NightEnd train that many sentries at all. I don't know if he's just absolutely against training sentries, or if he doesn't believe in them, but I really think that if he was able to drop down a couple of force fields, split up that army, he would have been able to deal a lot more damage. He's going into Archons instead of Colossi. Archons are very, very helpful in that they are not destroyable by Corruptors, and they do deal a fair amount of damage, 43 damage per attack, with Slight Splash and a range of 3. But that's all that they really have going for them. They are very, very gas-intensive units, especially if you merge them with High Templars, as we are currently seeing. Yeah, another Archon now being merged, Zealots being added, level 3 weapons upgrade could be started anytime soon, as the level 3 upgrades I believe would give that damage somewhere in the 39, 43, 47 range, so 47 damage per attack, able to 3-shot any of those units pretty quickly, as we are now getting even more drones. Harvester count 69 versus 54, 103 Zerglings in the field, as the Infestors are now just scampering about, looking to get even more damage in. The Infestors do move rather quickly, movement speed 2.25, the same movement speed or significantly faster than High Templars, so that will definitely help out, as the Zealots are not really engaging just quite yet. The Infestors may get some damage in, and we'll see what's going to be happening. There's a fungal growth, there's another fungal growth. The Zerglings now trying to hold off the attack. Another fungal growth may be coming in. There you go. So constant fungal growth, making it very difficult for the Archons to really do anything, but those Archons do move faster and also deal 43 damage against all units and all buildings of the Zerg. Psystorm now being researched, so that will definitely help soften up the Zergling army as the Zerglings try to run in and around. Also, gateways being warped in as well to try to protect this Nexus. He wants to make sure that no Banelings suicide straight into the Nexus, and no Zerglings are able to get a fair surround on that building there, as we are now seeing it on 2950 versus 3425. Harvester count 84 compared to 57, as more drones are still being trained, and Zerg level 3 weapons upgrade now being started. Ventral Sacks about to be completed, and now we may see some more drops coming in from Morrow. This hatchery at the gold mineral expansion is now up and running. 2 additional spine crawlers, or 1 spine crawler, 1 spore crawler now morphing into play, as Morrow just gonna get up to 200 food and then perhaps push out then. Excuse me. Archons are down over here. We are also going into an Ultralisk cavern. So Ultralisk cavern are going to be very interesting indeed, as Ultralisks are able to deal a lot of damage towards Stalkers, and they also do some splash damage towards Archons as well, but the Archons may actually be able to fight back much more quickly, as the Infestors are going to be acting as support units, making it so that those Archons are unable to run away from the Kaiser Blades of those Ultralisks. We now see a Baneling carpet bombing run in the air. That is a lot of Banelings. That is a lot of damage. And those Overlords now just trying to drop into position. Psystorm already coming into play. There's the carpet bombing. There's a fungal growth, dealing so much damage. And that was absolutely nice. Archons now getting mind controlled or neuroparasited, and now just being turned on each other rather quickly, as the Archons, taking a look at the losses, Protoss definitely on the losing end of that exchange, as Morrow currently supply locked 156 over 146, may end up losing this Overlord as well. Production-wise, 26 more Banelings now being hatched. Zerg level 3 melee attack also being started. A decent number of Zerglings and Banelings in midfield. And as we are now going to go into another Baneling carpet bombing run. 186 food now, so a round of Overlords have been queued up and trained, as Morrow trying to just keep up on his spawn larva, sitting on 17, 20, 25, wow, 30 larvae in just a matter of seconds, able to train up 30 units at a time. Yeah, that is just always so potent and deadly, as 4 Ultralisks now being queued. Archons making their way out. The Archons do have the benefit of recharging their shields, as the Archons have a lot of shields and really going to be microed a lot, I believe, in the next coming battles. There are a lot of Spine Crawlers, though. The Spine Crawlers and now Zerglings may try to move out. Are they going to try to move out and perhaps push these units towards the back corner once more? Zerglings now once again pushing in, as Psystorm now pushing in as well, as Psystorm hitting all of those buildings. No feedback yet, as the Banelings are now dropping straight onto the Zealots, and that was absolutely beautiful. Morrow looking to finish the job there. This one Archon going to get destroyed. Spine Crawlers joining in on the fight there, and no real drops into any bases, just carpet bombing on the Zealots and High Templars. And the losses are just getting higher and higher for NightEnd, especially as the income is still significantly stronger for Morrow. 2 additional creep tumors now being laid down. Another expansion almost done at the 3 o'clock location for Morrow. Morrow having the dominant army now, more than double in size and almost double in food size at this stage. Only 9 food from being able to double, as NightEnd now making his way out with all of these High Templars. They should be able to gather up a lot of energy in a reasonable amount of time and then drop that size storm and just dish it out. NightEnd with a lot of Zealots as well. Yeah, a lot of Zealots as well, so those Zealots are going to be doing a lot of damage, but they are level 2 weapons upgrade, no level 3 just quite yet, as the High Templars now finally have more than 75 energy. The destructible rocks have been cleared out, but the creep tumor now in position, so that is going to be a bummer, as the creep tumor is going to prevent the Nexus from being warped into play at all. Photon cannons also joining in, and now banelings going to be dropped once more. It looks like there are a lot of Zealots and High Templars. The High Templars looking to get in some Psystorm, as the Ultralisk now trying to pour in. Psystorm pretty much missing their target, as now the Overlords are going to get focused down one at a time. Banelings dropping in. So many High Templars, so many Zealots getting destroyed. Ultralisk, nothing to really counter them at all. Fungal growth coming in from behind, and wow, 8 Ultralisks may be able to continue this push once more. A new batch of Zerglings, 46 of them to be precise, now making their way out. 23 food of Zergling, all being trained up within the same 30 seconds or so, and that will be difficult. 5,100 versus 1150 now. You can see almost double the food count. Morrow simply just waiting on his last batch of units, and also going into a Spire, and it looks like more carpet bombing underway, so we may be getting that in just a moment as well. Those Overlords are rather low on hit points, so it might be fresh Overlords. 5 fresh Overlords to do another carpet bombing run in just a moment. You can see all of those banelings down over here, over 24, as they jump inside the ventral sacks of that Overlord. The army now trying to make another move out. NightEnd unable to expand, and he needs to have a way to clear out all of this creep. And I'm kind of curious. Oh, I believe there was a creep tumor here that was revealed and then destroyed. Otherwise, this creep would not be that far in advance right now. 5,400 with 3,600 gas, as the Ultralisks are now joining in on the fight. The Ultralisks dealing 47 per attack, as now are we going to have any real damage being dealt? You can see the Overlords are trying to make their way in. Zerglings and Ultralisks once again pushing their way through. Feedback onto the Infestors, and so many Banelings in the air, and good game well played by NightEnd. So Morrow taking game 2 in this best of 3 series, and taking a very sizable lead for mousesports. Mousesports now with a 2-0 lead over fnatic in the finals, and mousesports already with $500 to them, and with fnatic trying to get on the scoreboard. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay, this best of 3 series, and series number 2 in a best of 5 between mousesports and fnatic.